का फुल फॉर्म मालूम है आपको? नायडू डिपेंडेंट अलायंस या नीतीश डिपेंडेंट अलायंस.
Mr. Narendra Modi is a prime minister because he's relying on the crutches of Nitish Kumar, Chandrababu Naidu, Chirag Paswan and Jayant Chaudhary.
There is an unstable government and other side is a strong opposition in the country.
ये इंडी वालों को अंदाज नहीं है. पहले तो डूब रहे थे, अब तेज गति से ये गर्त में जाने वाले हैं.
The Waqf Amendment Bill 2025
हम किसी का धार्मिक भावना को चोट पहुंचाने के लिए नहीं है.
जिनकी भूमि है इसका अधिकार जाता रहता है मान्यवर, एक गलतफहमी फैला रहे.
तू इधर उधर की न बात कर, तू बता कि कारवा कहाँ लुटा है.
Let them speak. Let them speak.
I am going to stand by the parliamentary affairs minister. There is nothing to fear.
इस बिल को जो गैर संवैधानिक है, जो बाबा साहब के संविधान के खिलाफ है, इसको वापस लीजिए.
इतनी चिंता गरीब मुसलमानों की क्यों हो रही है? मुझे तो लगा कि बैरिस्टर जिना का कब्र से आत्मा उठकर अपने शरीर में घुस गया.
हाथ में संविधान की पुस्तक लेके घूमते हैं, रेडी रेफरेंस के लिए पॉकेट में रखते हैं, लेकिन पढ़ते हम हैं.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to the sharp edge of today's biggest story. This is the Waqf Amendment Bill that is under fire, quite literally, in the Rajya Sabha, that is the upper house, even as we speak. Remember, voting is expected a little later today, and in fact, we'll get you those images also on our screens as we continue to stay live with that entire coverage. Proceedings in the Rajya Sabha that are continuing, discussions that have continued ever since this afternoon, much like you had seen the Lok Sabha also doing this all through yesterday, and then the voting. But you had a defining showdown that possibly could reshape the political landscape. But just rewind to the Lok Sabha elections. Do you remember what happened then? Narendra Modi, who was pegged at a 240 seats, 240, he was called quote-unquote weak, kamzor by the opposition. He was mocked as a leader, ladies and gentlemen, who was clinging to allies for survival. He needs crutches for survival is what the opposition had said. Yet here we are. We are tackling the explosive Waqf issue, which is contentious. It is a political minefield. So why hasn't the opposition managed to corner the Modi juggernaut? Why isn't Narendra Modi on the back foot tonight? Is this debate a stealth vote of confidence demonstrated itself by Modi 3.0? And has the Prime Minister, against all odds, has he again proven that he is still the boss of Indian political spectrum and he's the one calling the shots yet again? We deep dive into this story. First up, as always, are our straight questions. The first straight question has to be the big question, the obvious question. The question that everyone is asking. Modi versus who? Is there still no challenge to Narendra Modi? Remember, this is a question that you've asked even in 2019, even in 24. But then people started to say that there possibly is a challenger, in the India Alliance and anyone can take on Narendra Modi. But where are those people today? Is there absolutely any challenge to Narendra Modi? That's our first question. This brings us to our second straight question. Ladies and gentlemen, has Narendra Modi passed the quote-unquote, the coalition test? Because it was said that this is a Narendra Modi who has never run a coalition government. He cannot run a coalition government. Ab dekhiyega, this will survive only for a few days. This is again a charge that the opposition leveled. So today we ask, has Modi passed the coalition test? The third straight question up on your screens, what really has made allies like the Janata Dal United, like the TDP, the LJP, all back this bill? Because the buzz was that these are the parties, these are the allies that possibly could swing the things for the India Alliance and against Narendra Modi. We didn't see that happening in the Lok Sabha. The fourth straight question. Has the opposition, ladies and gentlemen, struggled to put the government on the back foot despite better numbers? And I say this right now because you've seen a vociferous opposition that is pushing back, that is making some right noises. But in spite of all that, why are they still struggling to corner this government? This brings us to our final straight question that we are asking on Newsnight tonight, that what happens to some very contentious issues which are also pending in terms of legislation, like the issue of delimitation, like the national education policy. You would remember the entire row that you have seen vis-a-vis the state of Tamil Nadu in particular, and the UCC. What will happen to all those reforms? Because many say that this is just the beginning of a lot of reforms that possibly will get kick-started under Narendra Modi 3.0. Interesting questions, and we'll also try to find answers to those questions. And like I said, remember the proceedings in the upper house still continue as we speak, and we are on the show. We'll keep going in and out of the parliament, and not just that, we'll also try to get you more sense on what possibly could happen once you will see the Rajya Sabha finishing its voting a little later tonight. What is the big picture? What are the big takeaways? What is the road ahead when it comes to the NDA? What is the road ahead when it comes to the India Alliance? Is there any India Alliance at all? A question that has been asked time and again. Let me introduce our panel of guests without much delay here. We'll have Salman Sozji, who's the senior national spokesperson of the Congress, joining us. We also have Ali Khan, who's a member of the SP and the associate professor of political science at the Ashoka University. It's a pleasure also to have Sardar R.P. Singh Saab, who's representing the BJP, and Deepak Reddy Gunapati is the national spokesperson of the TDP. He's completing our panel. And on your screens, like I said, we will keep diving into images coming in from the parliament that is working, it is debating, it is discussing the entire issue as we speak. Salman, let's begin by asking you what happened. You know, the opposition has far greater numbers. You've all tried to push back. But why haven't you been able to corner the government?
I think, look, the government has the numbers in the in Parliament, and the government has the power of the government, so to speak, the power of agencies, the power of circumstances, allies who are actually dependent on the BJP. Say Bihar, Nitish Kumar is not the main guy anymore. He knows it. TDP knows that they have to rely on the center as well for lots of things. Otherwise, the center doesn't give you a lot of the things that you need to govern effectively. But I'm not really that concerned about what the BJP is. You know, whether they are ascendant, they're more powerful, etc. I think the real issue here is what is being done to the second largest community in India.
But Salman, I just want to hold you back. I just want to hold you back, Salman. I want to ask you a pointed question before I also get an Ali into this conversation, before R.P. Singh Saab and Deepak also comes into this. Tell me something. When Narendra Modi got 240 in the Lok Sabha election, what did the entire opposition say? That this is a government dependent on Nitish Kumar. This is a government dependent on Chandrababu Naidu. This is a government literally on crutches. It won't survive. You wait and watch.
Now,
will you have to eat those words?
Whether the government survives or not, that is for later. This issue is not about Narendra Modi. The trouble with media is that they're so fixated, so much in love with Narendra Modi. This issue is about 200+ million Muslims of India.
Salman, it's nice that you discuss about the problems with the media. Interesting.
I think it is.
No,
it is
listen, Salman. Salman, I hate to jump in here, but see, it is unfair that you have political parties wanting to look for comfortable questions. You know, you can lecture us all on the plight of minorities and everything else, but tell me very honestly, what has the Congress, what has the Samajwadi Party done for minorities? When triple talaq happened, what happened? Do you remember the Shah Bano judgment? Are you telling me you never cared about the Muslim women? What about all that?
I think if you want answers, then you should have the patience to listen, because you clearly do not listen. You interrupt.
There has been a debate. There has been a debate in the Lok Sabha. There is a debate underway in the Rajya Sabha. But still you people cry that you are not allowed to speak.
I don't know what has happened to NDTV, because you clearly do not listen. You keep talking. Listen. Have some patience. You talked about the triple talaq issue. That is the only, by the way, do you know that if you abandon your wife in India, you will not be criminalized. But if you say triple talaq, you're criminalized. You know that. And you will not tell your viewers. That means you're taking one community and subjecting it to criminal law when you don't apply the same to other communities. By the way, what you should be asking, if you are a journalist of true merit, what you should be asking is, forget Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi, let me tell you about Narendra Modi. He got his margin of victory from 2019 to 2024 fell from 5 lakh votes to 1,50,000 votes. He was about to lose his election.
Okay,
what
Salman, you are still stuck in time. That is the problem. I hate to say this, but this is not a you versus me conversation. We have other panelists who've been very patiently listening to you. But I think this is the real problem when it comes to the Congress party. The quote-unquote entitlement culture. How is Narendra Modi surviving in spite of being at 240? When you people don't open up your eyes, you do not reach out to a community, they do not trust you, it has to be your problem. You need to look within. Whether it is the Sachar Committee report, Salman, it has said multiple times about mismanagement in the Waqf board. Can you speak about the Shah Bano judgment? I mean, that is something that when you go back in history, the Congress will find it difficult to explain. But let me get in Deepak ji very quickly before I get the SP and the BJP here. Relax. Wait. But people don't forget this. People don't forget this. History teaches you lessons, Salman. Hang on. Now, I need to move this debate to other panelists who've been patiently waiting, Salman. You are irked. I do not know why. You've got ample time. The Congress party and every other party has ample time to speak in the parliament. People have heard you, but in spite of the fact, Deepak ji, you have leaders like Owaisi, leaders from the Congress party saying that you will suffer because you're sacrificing the Muslims. You're sacrificing your Muslim vote bank, Deepak ji. How would you respond to what you're hearing from the Congress right now, what you've heard from Owaisi?
A very good evening, Deepti. Just before the show started, I was seeing the promo. It says NDA, Naidu dependent government.
Yes.
I mean, I'll take it as a compliment. But let me give a rebuttal to that. In the NDA ecosystem, there are more clowns than politicians, in my opinion. And the politics and the parliament is asking them to go, and the circus is asking them to come. I mean, that is the situation. Let's be a little frank today. Out of the 232 MPs who voted against the bill, 90% of them are Hindus. But the India ecosystem is trying to pitch that it is a Hindu-Muslim issue. That is not true. So I'm really proud of my brother Muslims and my sister Muslims in India. No matter how much instigation that has been done on this issue, they have actually seen the true colors of the Indian ecosystem.
The Congress says this is anti-constitution. They say this is anti-Muslim. How would you respond to that charge?
When they got in the amendments that was anti-India, that was anti-Hindu, that was anti-every religious segment of India, they have to answer why they got in such a discriminatory law and amendment in the first place earlier. So the strategy is that they play to the galleries and try to cover up their mistakes. One thing I would like to point out before my opening comments, the same kind of communal, you can say disputes they have found during the partition. And Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister, when people were dying after partition and independence has come, he's gone comfortably for a show in Connaught Circus. That's the degree of seriousness. So the people of India have realized, especially my Muslim brothers and sisters have realized that they are not going to fall into the trap of this communal divide and this cheap politics being played by India ecosystem. And especially in Andhra Pradesh, let me say, Congress party is dead, and in rest of India, that's on a ventilator. And
Deepak ji, before I get in Ali and also RP Singh Saab, tell me something. Do you believe the Congress is a quote-unquote secular party, or are you calling them communal here on the show?
They are. I would like to use strong words, not just communal. I mean, they are like scum to this country. I think we need to get rid of them.
No,
because they are
why has
today,
politics
Kapil Sibal,
turned so vicious that we've started using names like this against each other? You know, Deepak ji, I think we must all give this a thought, that politics in the country has become so vicious that, you know, such name calling against each other is commonplace. But let's move on, because this is a hard issue that we are looking at. Now, Ali, you represent the Samajwadi Party. I remember Akhilesh Yadav also saying multiple times कि सरकार में कोई दम नहीं है. This is not a government that will survive for far too long. Now, do you believe that this is the boldest reform undertaken by Modi 3.0? All of you who said Narendra Modi can't run a coalition government, will you want to see the kind of results today?
उसी का शहर, वही मुद्दई, वही मुंसिफ, हमें यकीन था हमारा कसूर निकलेगा. What Salman Sood was saying, I partly agree with. I was asked to come onto this show to discuss the Waqf law and the amendments, not to discuss coalition politics. The point is that this law, the bulldozer in recent years has become the symbol, in a sense, of the injustices that are being meted out to not just Muslims, but all those who oppose the government. The bulldozer circumvents the law. It circumvents due process, right? And this was legal bulldozer in a sense. Why? Because Article 26 of the Constitution, which you, I'm sure, are familiar with, gives all of us the rights, all communities, the right to manage their own religious institutions. There are so many problems with this bill. First problem being, since when do governments decide and comment on what the practice of religious communities are? Today they are saying a Muslim who's practiced for 5 years, what does practice mean? This is a modern concept of religion that is being foisted. Actually, it's being inspired by colonial law. कल को ये कहेंगे कि हिंदू की कसौटी ये होती है. This is very dangerous territory, not just for Muslims, but for all communities in India. This is a frontal attack on the Constitution of India. This is not about coalition politics. This is not about Samajwadi Party, Congress Party, TDP, BJP. Very clearly, if you read the Constitution of India, read Article 14, read Article 15, read Article 26, this amendment bill violates key articles of our Constitution.
Okay, Ali, see, this is a debate that has been underway in the Lok Sabha yesterday, all through Rajya Sabha today, and clearly the idea on Newsnight is to take the story ahead. I want to know, what will the SP do? The Union Home Minister Amit Shah made it very clear that this is a law, whenever it's made, will be made by the Parliament of Bharat, by the Parliament of the country. Sansad koi कानून बनाता है, सब मानेंगे. Otherwise, you can approach the courts. Will the SP be approaching the courts?
You read the history of the 20th century. Genocides have been legalized. Just because someone passes a law does not.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Ali?
I am trying to say that the very constitution on which all of the politicians in Parliament, upper house and lower house, took their vow and swore an oath to uphold it, the very articles of that constitution have been violated.
So will you challenge this? Will the Samajwadi Party, will Akhilesh Yadav, will Rahul Gandhi, will Mamata Banerjee, will all of you challenge this in the courts? Yes or no?
You are trying to make it about politics. It is about the Constitution of India.
No, wait. You know, I do remember, Ali, I do remember, and RP Singh Saab will vouch for this, and Salman and Deepak would also. You know, though they might not agree on the face of it, but after the abrogation of Article 370, we had heard similar murmur. Even someone like an Omar Abdullah said, we do not accept it until the matter reached the court. So there is still that provision. But that does not mean that you will be anti-reform, anti-debate, and there will be fear-mongering. But RP Singh Saab, what is the problem? The opposition still is not willing to buy what you are saying. They say that there is something wrong in the intention. You really want to ensure that the community, the minority community, is shown its place, RP Singh Saab. Why don't they trust you?
Well, it's not a matter of trusting us. The issue is trusting the countrymen at large. But coming to the issue, Sosa was talking about misusing of the ED and the CBI. This is the statement of Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav. In July 2013, he gave the statement. And he categorically states that Congress is misusing CBI to arm twist us. That's what Mulayam Singh said. And coming now to my friend from Samajwadi Party, he spoke about Article 25 and 26. I read from the Article 25 26 from the Book of Constitution, which generally they carry and they don't read. Article 24 Indian Constitution guarantees freedom of conscience and right to free profess, art, practice and propagate religion. Well, Article 25 grants religious denominations the freedom to manage their own affair in the matter of religion. Tell me one thing. Do you remember the High Court order, Calcutta High Court order in matter of Waqf Board? It categorically stated that it is a property management board. And it was ratified by Supreme Court later on saying that yes, it's a property management board. It's not Gurdwara Committee Act. It's not SGPC Act. It's not some endowment board which deals into the religious affair.
Okay. But Singh Saab, even if I accept what you're saying on its face value, tell me something. And this is a question that a lot of people have also been asking, that why did the Modi government take so long to go in for a reform like this? If you really believed in this reform and this is devoid of politics, why did you wait for so long?
Well, when we do the next one, then you will ask why did it took so long? One nation, one election. So it's keep happening time to time. I mean, whenever we have the space and whenever we have the data and everything put together, and then we do it. But the shocking part was, वो ये बैसाखी पे चलने वाला है, they are on crutches. What happened? My friend from TDP is sitting here. So
they are saying that you've pressurized your allies. Salman and Ali have said that you're pressurizing allies. Otherwise, Nitish Kumar, Chandrababu Naidu would have never voted for this.
That's what I showed. This Mulayam Singh Yadav categorically stated in July 2013, saying that they were armed twisted by CBI, by Congress Party through CBI. Please ask my friend from TDP, is there anything of that sort with them? No. But because they have no other issue and narrative, anything which can be for the, give me another second please, anything which can be for the welfare of the larger community, of the Muslim community at large, they have an issue with that, whether it's a triple talaq, now Waqf Act. I'll give you one example and I'll finish my talk. 9.2 lakh acre of land, value worth something like 1.28 lakh crore rupees. Minimum return should be 10%, which is 12,000 crore rupees.
Okay.
Do you know what was the income from the Waqf Board properties? 10 crore rupees, which used to be 166 crore rupees some years back.
Okay.
So we are saying, let's get the auditing done. Let's get the good people in who should be able to generate that money for the welfare of the Muslims only.
Okay.
No one else is going to take. Like now,
okay, Singh Saab, I have limited time, but I have to quickly go to Salman here. Though the SP has not cleared, Salman, whether they will be approaching the court or not, will they be, calling in for the constitutional validity? But what about the Congress? Is the Congress now going to be approaching the courts? What do you intend to do?
Well, first of all, 3 quick points. First, the audience will see that the Congress spokesperson was repeatedly interrupted, whereas the BJP and the TTP got a free run. That's one. Second, the TTP spokesperson used a very disgusting word for the Congress party. I hope Chandrababu Naidu sends decent people on national television to represent TTP. This is totally unacceptable. Third, now let me get to the nub of this. I'm absolutely sure this is going to be challenged in the Supreme Court, all the way to the Supreme Court. I see no other way forward because they're going to pass this. But let me ask, RP Singh or the TDP or all those who are supporting this. I just have a very simple, there are so many issues with this thing, and Ali is right. I mean, this is unconstitutional upon unconstitutional. But let me ask them one simple question. One of the provisions here is that non-Muslims will be members of Waqf boards. And by the way, as my colleague Abhishek Singhvi said in Parliament, one of the provisions is that in the state, when the state Waqf boards are set up, the majority could be of non-Muslims. Now, let me tell you, I'm from Jammu and Kashmir.
Not at all. You're misquoting, sir.
Please listen.
Okay, wait. Let him complete. Let him complete, RP Singh Saab. I will come back to you. Let him complete. Salman, let him. Salman will take 10 seconds to complete his point. Yes, Salman.
Let me finish. Let me finish. On Shri Amarnath Ji Yatra Board, Shrine Board, there are 9 members, not a single Muslim. On the Mata Vaishno Devi Board, there are 8 members.
I need to answer that.
Yes, okay.
Everybody is from the Hindu community.
Okay, that's a big charge, Salman. I'm running out of time, but I'll get RP Singh to respond to this.
Why are Muslims special to the BJP and the RSS?
Okay, RP Singh, your response, sir.
Who managed the 2013 Kumbh Mela, which is a purely a religious function?
I am
Mr.
asking you
Azam
a
Khan.
question about...
Hold on, sir. Mr. Azam Khan.
Okay, RP Singh Saab, do you want to respond to the specific question that has been raised by Salman Soos?
Or only for the Muslim community?
Yes, wait. RP Singh will respond, please.
Simple
Yes.
answer.
Mr. Soos, please go through the act and please go through it thoroughly. There's not a single piece which says that the state bodies can have more more Muslims, more non-Muslims than the Muslims. Please don't do the fear-mongering. You're using the channel. You're using the channel to fear-monger the Muslims. आप डराने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं मुसलमानों को. छोड़ दीजिए यहाँ से.
You tell me, will the same provisions be applicable to all religious denominations in India or not?
Okay, quickly only. RP Singh Saab, only 2 seconds, sir. Please, quickly.
It's not a religious denomination. It is a property management board. It's just a property management board.
Will you bring
it manages property.
Okay, strong charges versus counter charges. But this also tells you, ladies and gentlemen, that we haven't heard the last word yet. You know, the live debate is continuing right now in the Rajya Sabha. And I'm thanking all our panel of guests also for joining us, as we'll continue to track this story and also get you more live updates on what's been really happening, as we'll be looking perhaps at the voting that will get underway in the Rajya Sabha shortly. But not to forget that all this will also continue looking at the war of words. It's time right now for Newsnight Spotting Shot. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Waqf Amendment Bill has cleared the Lok Sabha litmus test with striking ease, and all eyes are now right now on the Rajya Sabha, where you also have Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP speaking right now, and voting could be unfolding as early as tonight. You have a supremely confident Narendra Modi who wasn't in the house during the debate. He carried on business as usual. He's attending the BIMSTEC summit in Thailand. Many say that this is a resounding vote of confidence in Modi 3.0, and do not forget the Saugate Modi campaign. And a slick pivot in his political stride is this: Modi sculpting a bold new image. The Waqf saga was hyped as treacherous, as fragile, and a very difficult tightrope. Yet you have Narendra Modi who's navigated this with effortless command, the opposition's clamour literally fading to even ensure that you're putting the government on the mat. That has not happened. There is not a chink in his armour that they've been able to locate so far. So question we are asking, has Modi outplayed them once more? The story is far from over, but we are watching it closely. Thank you for your time on the show tonight. Good night.